Hello, my name is John Seville. I'm the managing principal and CEO of the Ascent Leadership Group. Now, today we're going to be looking at our team advancement solution, which is a fancy way of saying also team development, our team development solution. If that is on your purview for this year, team development, how do we help build better and stronger teams, higher performing teams, better collaboration, better communication, etc., then this presentation is going to be both very relevant and I think you're going to find it challenging and inspiring. So we're going to talk about team advancement solution. Now, we believe that in organizations, they are a medley, a network of teams. And how important is that? Well, Steve Jobs said, great things in business are never done by one person. They are done by a team of people. They are never done by the lone wolf. They always are executed in teams. That's how critical they are. So if that's the case, and Steve Jobs said this, then surely companies make this a priority and have really strong programs, etc. Actually, 5% of companies have an effective ongoing team advancement program or team development program, 5%. Another 20% try to encourage their leaders to do some type of monthly team building activity. But taking everybody out for appetizers or drinks after work is not really team advancement program or solution. So when team leaders wake up one day and go, man, we have done nothing. We've just been grinding it out week after week after week, and I need to do something with the team here. I need to help build a better team, make them feel more engaged, etc. Then they usually start with, I call the book club solution. So this is where the leader says to the team, hey, if I got copies for everybody of Patrick Lencioni's 5 Dysfunctions of a Team, how many would be willing to read a chapter a week and to be prepared to discuss it? Not everybody shoots their hand up. Great idea. First week, it really was a great idea. Everybody had read the chapter and brought some pretty good questions and had some good interaction. It was a success. Week 2, 2 of the team members admitted that they just didn't have the time to actually read the chapter or even really think about it. And we were really apologetic. And Tom's the leader of the group, and he's really easy to go, hey guys, it's okay. Those things are going to happen, right? It's life. Things are going to happen. The problem was next week, now this is going into the 3rd week. The problem was that in the next week, Tom wasn't prepared. So Tom, who was the leader of the group and had committed to having 3 to 4 really good open-ended questions for discussion and even an exercise, didn't get it done. And man, he was apologetic and he felt really bad, and there was a home situation, and of course there was a senior offsite retreat that tied up 3 days of his time, and he apologized, said, I'm going to double down. Well, by that point, the next following week, we had 3 people that didn't get chapter read and had very good reasons. I mean, they're not being malicious. They're not trying to do this just to undermine that effort. It just doesn't work. I don't think I've ever seen or heard of that working. It usually runs 3 weeks, maybe 4, and then all momentum is lost. And then the discussion is, you know what, maybe if we did this in the fall, that would be a better time. Option number 2 is the outside training firm. This isn't our strength, Tom thinks. So let's go find it. There's got to be training firms out there that can do a half-day workshop for us or whatever, team building, team development. How do you do this? And he found one. He brought in a senior program manager, and this guy was slick. I mean, he was good, and got everybody excited, and they signed up and said yes. The problem was the day of the training, the workshop. They walked in the room, and there was a person who looked maybe 27 years old, and a stack of white notebooks. And they realized this was the trainer now. This is who they were going to sit with for 4 hours. They also realized that this person had really never ever led any significant team in their lives. So he passed out the notebooks and said, okay, let's open these and turn to page 1. And on page 1, there was some lines and bullets and then a number of blank spaces. Looked like you're supposed to listen carefully and fill it in. On the side was margins. You could write questions. And about an hour and a half into this, everybody's looking at their watches thinking, my God, I could have gotten so much more work done this morning, and it's just piling up on me. But anyway, everybody's stuck. And so they go to 12 noon, in which case everybody packs up their notebook, goes back to their cubicle or office, and puts it on the shelf. And what do you think happens next with those notebooks? Absolutely nothing happens with those notebooks. There's no integration for the discussion. In fact, it wasn't even that compelling information. It wasn't relevant, much of it, to their particular situation. And so that is the outside training form in the magical white notebook. What happens really is operations and productions become, and it should be the priority, sure, absolutely, got a company to run, but it becomes the exclusive focus, and no team advancement solutions are ever implemented or investments made in the team and its team members. And here's the big problem, and they know it. They know it. In fact, the message we really send is, you're a producer here. You're a cog in a wheel, and you're here to do production. You're a producer. You hopefully have a clear job description, and we just need you to work. I mean, just honestly, we just need you to work. We don't have time to make investments in your team, so it might become a more positive experience, better collaboration, better communication, better outputs, higher productivity, and actually fun or enjoyable to be a part of. We just don't have time for that kind of thing. Now, why does this happen? First, because strong, driven leaders who are getting results are typically not good at developing people or teams. I have rarely ever seen both in one person. That strong, driven leader who gets results are typically not very good at developing people or teams. Now, could we add a little science to that? Sure, let's use interkinetics, which is the science of temperament and type. There are 4 core temperaments, SP, SJ, NT, NF. One of these really excels at people and people development, and that is the NF temperament. The SJ temperaments are oftentimes your leaders, commanders, your strong, driven leaders. But the NF is the one that gets it innately, like it's in their DNA. And the reason I know that is because I'm an ENFP. And so I couldn't understand, serving on 4 executive teams, why every time I brought up how we should be investing in doing at least some team development work, even leader, mentoring, coaching, it just went right over the heads of my peers in all 4 executive teams. Well, a year later, after I left corporate America to start my own thing, I learned interkinetics. Actually got to work and be mentored by the founder of it, Ray Lincoln. And once I had a framework for understanding myself and others, I went, but I loved to have this information 15 years ago. It was that powerful. So strong leaders, they just don't get it. It's not that they're bad people. It's just that's not their strength set. That's not in their wheelhouse. If we're not fighting that battle where our leader just doesn't get it, it isn't a priority, then we're fighting the battle of time. Right? You got production, operations, deliverables, projects need to be completed, et cetera, and so what do you think goes on the back burner or goes off the back burner? Team development. And if that's not a problem, then we're dealing with skill sets. There are skill sets involved in doing a good job mentoring, coaching, leading, team building. These are all skill sets that have to be learned. And again, strong, driven leaders or getting results are typically not good at developing people or teams, and they're not motivated to. And so therefore, you don't have the skill sets necessary in the leader to be able to drive that. So what's the solution? Well, we're incredibly biased, but we believe the solution is to partner with a company like Ascent Leadership Group and let us implement our team advancement solution. So we believe it's a partnership. You don't try to make a current driven leader that's doing a great job different or take on different priorities. You just supplement their leadership by bringing in a partner part-time to be able to implement some solutions that can help strengthen the teams. And what's amazing about this, when we implement the solution and a team starts to really start clicking on all cylinders, all of a sudden other team leaders watch and start asking questions about how that happened and why it happened, and all of a sudden you start to see a contagion effect in a good company. Now, when we look at an organization, this is the way we see it. Leader development, we're not going to go into detail on this, but on the left side, leader development. On the right side, and that's the domain of things like executive coaching, leadership intensives, interkinetics, those kinds of things. On the right side is organizational effectiveness. We implement this using our Ascent operating system workshop, and this is the domain of a typical business. Top line revenue, bottom line profitability, net new customer acquisition, customer retention, operational efficiencies at lower net profit or increased net profitability, all those kinds of things. But look what's in the middle, kind of tying things together. Team advancement. Team advancement, we consider that to be at the core, in the middle of that, that makes this roll, makes this, and think of this as in motion, an infinity loop in motion. Now, another way of looking at this is a fractal. This is a geometric fractal. And think of each triangle being a team. Now, different functions and roles: finance team, AP team, AR team, IT team, infrastructure team, operations. So these are all teams. But see, the point is, what's the common thread? They're all teams. These are organizations, 2, 5, 10 individuals functioning in a team designed to get something accomplished in the organization. When a company starts giving attention to building great teams, not only will it start to catch on, but you also create organizational efficiencies. In fact, we go back to this model where you have the team advancement in the core that enables it. So let's look at it a different way. What if you have a company full of just bad teams? Malfunctioning, dysfunctional, conflicted, not clear on goals, not accomplishing a lot, low performing. What if you have a company with those kind of teams spattered around? This becomes a blocker, bad teams, and those replicate like cancer sometimes in organizations. You end up getting a blocker. So instead of this beautiful flow of expansion, growth, and development, that becomes a block. The team advancement and poor running teams become a blocker to this process. So what is team advancement? If you get nothing else out of this, please listen to this one sentence. Team advancement is a science. Team advancement is a science. Effective team advancement is based on objectivity and data, not subjectivity and emotionalism. It is a science. Okay? That elevates it out of the sphere of, oh, it's just soft skills and those people are hard to get along with, and they just never did get along. No. It is a science. We can identify problem areas and work on those and address them. In fact, I'm going to show you, I believe, one of the most, if not the most powerful tool on how to assess a team in just a moment. So what is our scientific solution? We have a 5-step process. Number 1, an hour orientation meeting with a team leader. And during that time, we'll ask things like, well, tell us a little about your current team, this current state. Tell us a little bit about your desired future state. What would you like it to do? What changes would you like to make? Tell us a little bit about how you would prioritize those. Great, thank you. That was very helpful. So it's an orientation meeting. Secondly, we're going to send you a simple spreadsheet and you're going to send it back to us. And that spreadsheet's got to have first name, last name, email address, and contact phone number. Really simple. And so you're going to shoot that back to us. Now, 3 is part of our secret sauce, and it's not going to sound that secret or special, but it made a heck of a lot of difference. We administer the assessment and we follow up with the lagging team members. Susan, John Seville, how are you doing? Yeah, exactly. Ascent Leadership Group, and we're the ones working with you on the assessment. Hey, I've got a huge ask. A big ask. I know you're busy, but right now you're the last one to not have completed that assessment, and we're kind of stuck. Yeah, we can't move forward because we really want your input. Your boss wants your input, and so we're waiting on you right now. Is there any chance you could get that done? Maybe by today? No way that's going to happen. Okay, that's fine. How about by 5 o'clock tomorrow? That would be reasonable. You can do that? Fantastic. I appreciate that. Oh, by the way, can you write a number down for me? 303-888-3194. That is my personal cell number. If you get stuck or confused, you call me. If I don't pick up immediately, I'll be back to you within 30 to 60 minutes, okay? Yeah, and thank you so much. I'm not trying to placate you. I know you're extremely busy, so I appreciate your help. Really, it's just that simple. And we have the data, we know which ones haven't completed, and we can do the follow-up. Now, why is this such a big deal? Why am I making this such a big deal? Because over the years, we found out we'd have talk and present this to individuals. We rarely have a leader go, well, that's a really nonsense solution. I don't know why anybody would want to do that. Why would you want to build stronger, better teams, right? Rarely have had that, but what we do have is they think logistically and they go, so then I'd have to get email lists put together and make sure I got the right link, and then I got to follow up with the ones that are lagging and not getting it done and keep track of it. Anyway, it became a blocker to them, and we just said, hey, we're going to take it off your plate. We'll handle that. We'll take care of that for you. But that's just going to be part of our solution, is for us to administer logistically the assessment. Then number 4, our system produces an approximately 48-page report, which we analyze and produce a findings and recommendations presentation for you in PowerPoint. Well, what's the big deal about that? We used to hand them a 48-page paper full of graphs and colors and ask them to spend some time really dissecting that to busy leaders. And we could see their eyes rolling back in their head, and then they might see something like, wow, I think I could get that done probably in a couple weeks, which usually turned into 3 to 4. By that point, we had lost all momentum. See, whether you realize this or not, you're making an investment in the team, and the team knows that. And they actually get pretty excited. There's a lot of curiosity, wonder how that kind of come out, etc. Wonder what areas we were good in, what areas we were weak in, etc. So you build positive interest and momentum. But when our leaders understand, when we got it, we weren't trying to be critical, but when they were taking 2, 3, 4 weeks to get back with anything, then it was killing. It was a buzz killer. It was killing the momentum. And so we said one day, well, wait a minute. We are really familiar with the reporting, the data, how it's organized. Why don't we just take the time as part of our solution, and we'll put the presentation together and jumpstart the team? Made all the difference. So let's take a look at some samples here. So this is 6 pages out of 48, but this is the way most of the data is presented: summary forms, more detailed forms. See, you can't get this anywhere else. Well, I can get books on leadership and team development, and yes, you can. You can absolutely buy books and listen to Audible books on leadership and team development and stuff, but not your team. See, this is your team's data. This is what we're working with, is your team's feedback and data, and this is the assessment from your team members. This is incredible. This is like a gold mine, because it's not a general book that's full of great principles about team development. This data here is about your team, where the hot spots are on your team, where the weak points are on your team. That's what makes this so powerful. There's another top 10 team elements, bottom 10, just to get other graphs, other data, pieces of data to work with. Here's on individual contribution, team elements, accountability, ownership, membership roles, feedback from leader, leadership approach, etc. This is all about your team. This isn't a book on team development. That's what makes it so powerful. You could mine this for a year, I don't know, years, but certainly a good year. You can mine this and keep working on it and finding other key areas, and then work on and move to the next thing. It's an absolute gold mine. So our system produces that, and we put a presentation together for you. And then the 5th and final step, we facilitate a 1-hour presentation meeting with the team leader, where we are looking for validation. Hey, did we get this right? Does this sound correct? Do you think the emphasis, did we have too much detail here? Too little detail? Do we need to put more detail in that particular topic or issue? And they may go, oh, pretty good. I would do different prioritization. I would move 2 to 1 and 1 to 2. And I said, great, we'll do that. No, stop. Yes, we're really good at this. We've done a bunch of it. So, but this is your team, not ours. If you believe the prioritization needs to be reversed, I'll make that change. This is your team, not mine. Okay? Deal? Okay. Any other changes we need to make? Anything else that's been helpful? Have the recommendations been helpful? Has there been enough specific action items that you guys can get started immediately on? Okay, good. Well, by noon tomorrow, you'll have 2 things in, well, I'll explain that in a moment. You'll have 2 pieces. You'll have a presentation, and you will have the 48-page complete report. So you always have the underlying data for this, right? Now, here's something I want to emphasize. This only goes to you. This is only going to go to you. This doesn't go to your boss, so you're the CEO, the whatever. This is only going to go to you, right? In fact, we treat it with the same level of confidentiality that we treat coaching relationships with. This is kind of vulnerable data. We get that and understand it. Now, breaking role play, here's why that's so important. We've done this work for individuals that are on the back of their heels, to be honest. They've had a setback in their organization or their team, and they're feeling a little bit vulnerable, but they are interested in the data, like, gosh, I wish I had something to work from, so I at least would know where I could maybe regain some traction here. So we treat this with the same level of confidentiality that we do a coaching relationship, and have even put it on a USB drive and or FedEx, usually USPS, it to them, so we didn't even get out in the open on email, any email account, okay? So that's the level we do this. So if you're sitting there going, this is really interesting, I could really use this, and but man, I'm not prepared to share this with anybody. We understand? And that's why we treat it with that level of confidentiality, and we'll do that with you. All right, 4 quick questions, then we're done. How else can I use this information? You're going to use it to coach your team. Let's say you got 3 team leads underneath you, and of course they have members in their team, and you're going to take this and you're going to use this to coach with it, okay? So Lisa's going to come in and you're going to say, hey Lisa, I've got an assignment for you. Now didn't you complete that the assessment with your team? Yeah, you have the report, yeah. Okay, here's the assignment. I want you to take that data and I want you to do a little bit of deep work. Remember, that means, get out of the office, go wherever it's quiet, put your phone away, and I want you to spend an hour, maybe even more, with the data, the information, the findings, etc. And then I want you to translate that into goals, Q1, Q2, Q3, and Q4 goals, okay? So I want you to take that information and put it in your quarterly goals for you and your team. Now I want more detail for Q1 since we're on top of it already. Probably a little less extensive, but I want you to draft 2, 3, and 4 as well for me. And I want you to tie it back to the report you just did, all right? Next week, we're gonna go over that together collaboratively. We're gonna negotiate. I may tell you, I think you're overstretching here, but I want you to build that, and then I want that to be your team goals for the next 4 quarters. Oh, and by the way, we are gonna make one other change, and I'm right now, I want you to listen carefully. Not reaching a goal is no longer gonna be an option, okay? I know we've fudged in the past, we haven't been that good at even setting up goals, but not reaching a goal is not going to be an option anymore, okay? I'm calling it positive accountability. But here's the good news. The good news is once we agree upon the goals, and we'll be in agreement on those, then guess what we're gonna do every week in a one-on-one meeting? At least 20, 30 minutes. Right. We're gonna go over the goals, percentage of completion, are you getting blocked anywhere? Do you need any of my help? Or getting the cooperation you need from other departments perhaps for one of the goals? So every week we're gonna go over that every week to make sure you're making the progress you need to make so we can ensure you're going to reach that goal, right? So not meeting the goal is no longer an option, but I'm gonna be in your corner and I'm gonna be coaching you and resourcing you and doing everything I can to make you successful. And then at the end of the quarter, when you hit those goals, and hopefully your peers have hit their goals, not hopefully, they will have, then we're gonna go celebrate. We're gonna have some fun, we're gonna celebrate, and then we're gonna rinse and repeat and start on Q2, right? But not reaching a goal is not an option. That's why you've got to spend some time making sure, they're SMART goals, right? And if these goals are attainable, that you can do it. And if you need, put a little margin in there. But I do want you to come to the edge of stretching your team just a little bit, okay? Just a little bit of a stretch, but attainable goals. And you know that you can do it, okay? But I'm gonna be there along the way, and we're gonna be checking every week just to make sure you're making the progress you need to. Now, do you think employees, and certainly leaders of leaders, do you think they like attaining goals? Do you think they like being successful? Do you think they like being known as one of the best run teams or on one of the best run teams in the entire company? Do you think they get satisfaction out of that? You bet they do, and you're going to be there to help them. Number 2, why is it relatively inexpensive? So that it can be executed at the departmental level. See, we don't do the Deloitte, McKinsey kind of approach. We're going to do an enterprise-wide solution for you. It's going to be $50,000. I actually participated in 2 of those, 2 different companies on the executive team, one with McKinsey, one with Deloitte. I participated in that, and here was the problem. We did mandate it across the entire company, I think director level and above. And we had pockets of resistance, and we're going to talk about that in just a moment. We had pockets of resistance and saboteurs. that killed the buzz, killed the project, and just kind of fought us all along the way. So we don't necessarily like that approach, so you can mandate it across the organization. And if you want to take that approach and you want a proposal, we'll put one together for you, seriously. The other way you can do that, though, is you can offer it. You can offer the assessment, right? So you could go across your enterprise and pick all your leaders and say, again, director and above or manager and above. And you can offer that to them, or you can pick out what you already know to be 12 of your high potential leaders and offer to them. And then when you offer to either of these groups, you're going to take a half a step back and you're going to watch who raises their hand. I would be really interested in doing that on my team. You're going to watch who raises their hand and follows through, and then you know what you have now? You've just identified your future leaders. See, these are people that have a vision for building great teams. These are good leaders, becoming better leaders, and they have a vision for building great teams that team members benefit from. And that's who you're looking for. You also have your pool of candidates for future succession planning. So that's why we like the concept of offering either to a larger group or smaller group, select group, versus the concept of the enterprise mandate. And you bring the big boys in and they supposedly work their magic. So that's why it's relatively inexpensive. See, when I see a company, I see a heat map, and I'm wondering, where are the hungry ones? Where are the hungry leaders? And not all of them are hungry. Not all of them are hungry on executive teams in particular. Right? So what we're looking for is the capable, hungry leaders that want to build great teams and are willing to put the extra effort in to do that. Number 3, where can this solution be delivered? Anywhere in the world that speaks English. Anywhere in the world that can speak English, we can deliver this solution. Doesn't matter your geographical dispersion, how many locations you have, how many you'd like to involve, but they're in 10 different states. Doesn't matter, as long as they speak English, we can deliver the solution. But let me tell you what the group that has really benefited from this, and that is those that have a hybrid team. So you got 2 people come into the office on a Monday through Wednesday, and then you have 5 that come in all 5 days, and then you have 6 that are remote, and 3 of those are in different geographical locations. And you wonder some days, boy, am I being effective? I mean, there's some days we seem to be firing on all pistons, and other days we just really seem to be all over the place. This is an incredible tool for a hybrid team, so you can get a snapshot of how you're doing and where the hot spots are. All right, 4th and final question, we're almost done. Who are the team leaders that are uninterested in our solution? Who are the team leaders that are uninterested in our solution? Well, they're usually individuals that are insecure, they lack confidence, and they suffer from the imposter syndrome. See, they don't really believe they are qualified to be leading and doing what they do. Their primary goal is to keep their job. It's not to build a great team on behalf of the team members in particular. It's just to keep their job. So they stay low on the radar. They perform typically 1 notch above mediocrity and meet requirements so they don't lose their job. But mostly it's all about them. They don't have the vision or passion for building a great team or being a great leader for that matter. They don't even believe they can be. 3, they like to duck, run, and hide. They like to duck, run, and hide, man. Stay off that radar. Don't rock the boat. Don't get any better. Don't push your team to higher performance levels. Just don't rock the boat and keep your job. Now, here's the problem, especially the ones that like to duck, run, and hide. Here's the problem with our solution for them and why they, in many cases, just gotta hate it, have no interest in this at all. There's nowhere to hide. There's nowhere to hide, right? Well, I don't agree with this assessment. I don't even know if I met this consultant, but I don't believe we're that weak in that area at all. I don't agree with probably a third of this report. I don't know who that consultant was, and maybe I'd like to talk with them, but I'm not agreeing with them on this assessment. There was no consultant, and there was no subjective evaluation. You understand that, right? was no consultant and there was no subjective evaluation. This data was pulled together from the team members' assessments. This came from us internally. This came from our team members, your team members. Oh, I don't think I understood that. Okay. All right, next action steps. So you're interested. I hope you're interested. If team development is on your radar screen and you want to build a great organization, I hope you'll seriously consider this. So what are the next action steps? You have questions, you're going to email me, not customer service. We don't have a sales organization, by the way. Never planned on having one. We're celebrating our 10th anniversary this year and never ever planned on having a sales organization. So you're actually going to email me directly your questions. If I can answer in an email, I'll do that. If I feel it needs a conversation, we'll set up a 15, 20-minute phone conversation. Simple, straightforward. Once your questions are answered and you'd like to move forward, you're going to book an engagement using the link below and get in our queue for scheduling. So those are two steps. The first step is booking an engagement, getting in our scheduling queue. We contact you and then work with you to find the best time to do this. Again, it is not time. You're going to invest about 2.5, maybe 3 hours as a leader. Your team members are going to invest about 20 minutes. So this is not a heavy lift. This is a very simple, straightforward engagement. So you're going to book the engagement and link below and get our queue for scheduling. Now, we did come up with a little fun incentive. If you book before Friday, February 7th at 2025 at 6 p.m. and use the promo code SAVE20, you'll receive a 20% discount and $300 off the cost of the engagement. The engagement's $1,500 retail, if you will. You'll save $300 off that if you book before or on February 7th before 6 p.m. Now, we hope that might be a little bit of an incentive to get started, but I want you to understand kind of how we work and what our guarantee is. So our guarantee is 100% satisfaction. Well, what if I book and then change my mind? I'm going to teach you, if you work with us, our 5-word phrase. I would like a refund. Well, I'm sure you want an explanation and a conversation. Nope. We don't need that. We assume your reason is your reason. That's none of our business. If you book because you want to get in and get early in the queue and save a little bit of money, and you change your mind whenever, I would like a refund, no questions asked. We hit a magic red button and your money's put back on your card. Oh, it can't be that. No, it is that simple. Well, what if you deliver the services and then we're not pleased with the outputs? I would like a refund. No questions asked. If you want to volunteer a reason, that's fine, but we're not going to ask you and create an awkward situation. We're celebrating, as I said, our 10th anniversary, and there were 3 guiding principles. 1, we work at over-delivering on our products and services. We like to create raving fans. Number 2, working with our clients in a warm and friendly relational manner that demonstrates that we really care. We really care. Care about your personal success and the success of your team and company as well. One of the ways we do this in personal coaching is I will tell my clients, look, for us, coaching is about a relationship, not a once-a-week session. If you get stuck, need help, need something to debrief, had a really bad conversation with the boss, you text me and ask me if we could find 15, 20 minutes to talk about it. I will find that every time, okay? And finally, we made it easy to do business with. That's why I would like a refund. We don't ask questions. We just honor your request and refund your money. It's that simple. Conclusion, are you leading a powerful team? One that is highly effective and productive? Do you consistently hit your goals? Do you lead a team with low friction or sometimes outright conflict, but conflict that is quickly resolved? Do your team members enjoy? Do your team members enjoy working on your team? And as a result, you experience low turnover or no turnover? Is your team easy to work with within the company and have the reputation of being one of the best run teams in the entire company? Most importantly, are you the leader of a winning team? Don't think you are, know you are, and we can help. Thank you for your time and attention.